What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is VH1 Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion Season 1, Episode 6. So, next week is the season finale, which I think is cool. You know, they gave us good, 7 good episodes. This was a feel good. This wasn't, they gave us a little bit of rah-rah, but it wasn't a whole lot. So, we pick up where we left off. We're still at the Juve, sort of winding down. Mendeecees and his mom are having a conversation because Yandy, remember his mom made those comments and Yandy ended up leaving. And, Mendeecees is like, I don't understand where this is coming from. Like, I love my mother and I love my wife, and I'm really conflicted about being in the middle, about having to make a decision about who I love more or who loves me the most. And what it boiled down to, Mama D came over and Mama D tried to talk to Judy and say, listen, Scrap had to check me on some things. He had to check me on some things I did when he was growing up, because that's his story. And I didn't like to hear it. I didn't want to accept it, but I had to because it was his story. And you know what Mendeecees was trying to tell his mom was, listen, you didn't even let me finish, because had you let me finish telling my story, then what you would have heard was at the end of the story, me telling you that I loved you and I respected the fact that you came from that and you came to where you are now, and you are a better woman because of it. We all have struggles. Everybody's story is not roses and gold paved streets. Some of us, we came from some bad shit. But I think that she was able to, Mama D sort of brokered it. At a certain point, I needed Mama D to step out and let them talk. But I do feel like Mama D helped them get to that point. And Judy finally admitted, look, I said that stuff about Yandy because I was mad. I was trying to get under Yandy's skin and I was mad. But they hugged it out and it was what it was. She gonna have to make it right with Yandy, but her and Mendeecees are in a better place. Now Bambi and Scrap are having a conversation, and here's the problem. Both of them are drunk. Well, tipsy. I don't think they was drunk. I think Scrap was a little more loaded than Bambi was. Now Bambi's trying to have, they're trying to have a conversation about their relationship, and Bambi's trying to say to him, like, listen, when we were on our way here, we was talking divorce, but this has been really good for us. I'm in a good place. I feel good. And he was like, yeah, but yada, yada, yada. Now, the conversation, as I understand it, Scrappy feels unappreciated. He feels like he's coming home, he's doing what he can do, he's being a man, he's handling what he knows how to handle, and he feels like no matter what he does, it's not good enough. Bambi is like, what you understand is, I'm out here hustling too, but I also have 2 babies, and that adds something extra onto it. She was like, I'm coming home, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm breastfeeding. He was like, well, I'm doing everything except for the breastfeeding. I mean, I can hold your breast while you breastfeed. That was that whole tipsy moment. But he really, and honestly, Scrap has been saying that from the beginning, that he just feels like he's not appreciated. He feels like no matter what, they're just not he's not appreciated in this moment. Now, I don't think they came to any sort of resolution, but they are going to have a date night later on. So then we pan over to Fizz and April. April is in Fizz's room, and they ended up having an argument, and it got physical. Now, we didn't get to see all of that on camera, but we saw all of the production team running in, getting her out of the room, and you could definitely tell that there was some sort of something happened, and they alluded to it being a physical altercation, but it sounds like it was April on Fizz, not Fizz on April, because y'all know if it had been Fizz on April, they'd had every police officer up there, he'd have got sent home, and all kinds of other stuff would have went down. But because she put her hands on him, or alleged, then of course they handle things differently when it's a woman on a man versus a man on a woman. Y'all know we've had that conversation over here before. I ain't gonna go into it no more. Y'all know how I feel. But let me say this. What it sounds like to me is April and Fizz have not spoken. Their relationship ended about 9 months ago, and he left. There was no closure. And it almost sounds like there wasn't even a this is over. It was we having problems, and I'm tired of it, and I'm out. So April wanted to have that closure conversation. And Fizz's thing is this. I understand she needs closure. I'm here for it. I respect it. She needs closure. I'm going to give her closure. But then she wanted to have the conversation about, well, who are you sleeping with? Who have you been with since we've been together? Now, she admitted that she dated some dude and they had sexual relations. And when it was his turn to say who he'd been with, he started talking about who he had sexual relations with, and come to find out, he done went backwards. So he done started messing with somebody, one of his exes that April knew about. Here's the thing. Now, April's upset about it. She said, you know, he did that just to spite me. He did that to throw it in my face. And that was real messed up on his part. April, ma'am, it's not about you. First of all, if y'all haven't even talked to... The purpose of somebody doing something out of spite is that at some point they want you to find out about it, right? He ain't talked to you. He ain't called you. He ain't texted you. He ain't DM'd you. He ain't IM'd you. He ain't sent you no smoke message, okay? He ain't been out in public. He ain't been photographed with none of these other women. So at what point, ma'am, was this about you and him being spiteful? No, he wanted to get some poom poom, and he got it from where he could get it and probably where he thought it was going to be good. That's what it was. That's what it was. Second of all, if y'all aren't together, you don't get to be mad. See, this is the part I don't understand. April is real mad about who he slept with. You don't get to be mad. Y'all weren't together. I understand it don't feel good. And I understand, damn, you sat in my face and talked cash money shit about this woman and act like she wasn't this and she wasn't that. And the minute me and you weren't together anymore, you went back and slept with her. Was everything you told me a lie? No, he was horny and she was available. It don't get... Because if it was about him getting back with her, then that's what they will be doing. They slept together. That's it. That's all. And you slept with somebody too. I'm not understanding. Like, you slept with somebody too. What are we doing here, people? So, anyway, Jock is hosting game night. Now, listen, ain't nothing like a good old-fashioned game night. I'm here for all the games. I love to play games. I love card games, board games. They was playing Jenga. They was playing Connect 4. They had Uno. Looked like they was playing some spades. At some point, they was gambling, so they was probably playing Tonk or poker. You know, black folk play Tonk, white folk play poker. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but they look like they were having a really good time. Listen, ain't nothing like a good old game night. I'm gonna have me a good game night. When we get past this stuff and I can have more than 2 people in my house comfortably, we gonna have a good old fashioned game night. That's what we gonna do. We sure are. We gonna have ourselves a good old fashioned game night. But anyway, and so that's what's going down tonight. Now, Scrappy and Ray J have a conversation. And Scrap is trying to let Ray J know, listen, me and Bam are where you and Princess are. And he was like, no, y'all not. And Scrap was like, nah, I'm saying both of us got 2 kids. And Ray was like, but y'all ain't where we are. He said, and I understood what Ray was saying, because Ray was like, listen, you and Bambi are here together. At the very least, y'all ain't the same because y'all are here together. Me and Princess, not only are we not here together, we ain't been together. He said they ain't even slept in the same bed in 2 years now. I don't know how the hell they had a second baby. I guess they got drunk one night and it just happened. It is what it is. But I understand his point. He said, and Scrap was like, well, you know, I told Bam I wanted a divorce. And Ray J was like, but you ain't mean it. He was like, no, I meant it. Ray was like, y'all still sleeping in the same bed every night. Like, y'all, he said, I understand what you saying, but we ain't the same. We ain't coming from the same place, and we ain't the same. You know, but we know that Ray J and Princess are going to be on this new show, Couples Retreat, so we're going to get all into the ins and the outs of what's going on with the Ray J and the Princess and all of that good stuff. And we know that Scrappy and Bambi, I'm not going to say they worked everything out, because I don't think there's any such thing as working everything out when you're in a marriage, because there's always going to be something and new challenges. But we know that they're expecting, so congratulations to them. But here's what I love about what I'm seeing with Scrappy and Bambi. I do think that to let social media tell the story, they have this perfect marriage and they have this great relationship. But I think what's important that they're showing us is even all that glitters ain't gold, but we're willing to work it out and we're trying to thug it out and we trying to make it happen. There's no perfect marriage. Anybody that say they have a perfect marriage is lying. Period. Point. It's just period. There's no such thing. You with somebody all day, every day, there's going to be conflicts. You're changing with people. You with somebody 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. You're not the same person. You have to change. You have to evolve. You're going to hit peaks and valleys. It can't stay the same. If it stays the same, somebody just being fake. And it can't. That doesn't mean it can't be good. That doesn't mean it can't last. My parents been married for 55 years. But I know that there were peaks and valleys. You know what I'm saying? So, but I can appreciate that with Scrappy and Bambi. And I appreciate them letting us know that it ain't all that glitters ain't gold. And I definitely am rooting for them. I'm definitely in the amen section for them. April goes to talk to Bambi and Sierra, and she just reiterates the story, and she's saying how she feels disrespected and how women be holding men down, and we do this and we do that, we do the cooking and the cleaning, and we put our own needs aside. And from the outside looking in, people have said what they had to say about me, and I took it. Now for that, I'm with you, April, because I do think you got the brunt of this whole scenario with you, Omarion, and Fizz. You did. You was called all kinds of home wreckers, hoes, and everything else. You did. You absolutely, but well, not a home wrecker per se. Anyway, you was called all kinds of names, and you did. And the guys, both of them really sort of walked away scot-free out of this. I mean, Omarion, I don't think really did nothing wrong, but, and like she said, at the end of the day, we're the ones that have to carry the child, take care of the kids, keep our body right, still look cute, still be pretty, hold it down, and put our own personal feelings aside to make him feel good. And of course, Bambi could understand it. Bambi was here for it. And, I feel like they had a moment. They sort of had an amen moment. And it was funny because, child, she was going off, right? She was going off or whatever. And Sierra was like, yeah, But it was funny to watch Sierra because that's one of those things where somebody going off and you just letting them go and you like, yeah, girl. Yeah, yes, girl. I feel it. I hear you. Yes, I hear you. Yes, girl. Yes. It was one of those things. But we get to the game night, and again, everybody's having a good time. Trina has proclaimed herself the Uno Queen, Master, Champion. Now, Paris say she cheating. I don't know, Paris. I don't know, because Trina was kicking all y'all's asses. Fizz said he was the Connect 4 master, but then Yandy came over and beat him in like 5 moves. I don't know. Mendeecees was looking for the chess game. Mendeecees, now I play chess, so what I'm getting ready to say is strictly out of being funny, but you could tell that nigga been in jail. He came in the room looking for the chess game. I said, see, that's that jail shit right now. Anyway, so April comes in and says, listen, me and Fizz need to have a conversation. We need to finish what we started, and we need to have some sort of resolution. I don't feel like game night is the time to do it, but it's a show we producing. It is what it is, child. So Mama D is telling Judy, you need to apologize to Yandy. Like, you need to make it right with Yandy. And Judy was like, I do. You right. I will. Okay. Fizz and Ray J have a conversation. And Fizz explains to Ray J what the problem is. And again, I hate it. But I got to agree with Fizz. I have to agree with Fizz in this situation. You mad, and I know you want closure, and I get it, but you acting like I was out here sleeping people out here to spite you, and I wasn't doing it. I was sleeping people because I wanted to sleep with people, but it really had nothing to do with you. And so he's telling Ray J the situation, and Ray J's listening, and Ray J was like, listen, y'all need to just go ahead and talk and just clear this up. Y'all need to go ahead and talk it out, thug it out, and clear it up. And Fizz was like, yeah, I mean, I will, we do. I know we need to talk, I will. But eventually April comes over to Fizz, and the argument starts all over again. And again, I've already said how I feel about the argument. April, you really don't have no reason to be mad at that man on who he chose to sleep with when y'all were no longer a couple. You slept with who you slept with. He slept with who he slept with. And I don't understand why other than the fact you clearly still have feelings for him, but I don't understand why you've allowed it to let you get this worked up. Now, Scrappy and Bambi are having a date night. It was sort of interrupted by the wildlife in the area, and but they're talking about their relationship and just showing a bigger appreciation and being there for each other and learning how to communicate better. It's like I said, it sort of got cut short because of the wildlife running around. But I think they walked away with some sort of better understanding. I mean, I think Scrappy heard her. He wasn't listening to respond. I think he was listening to understand, which makes a big difference when you're talking to somebody or having a conversation. When you listen to respond, you're not taking in anything that anybody's saying. And I've been guilty of that. You get into these back and forths and these heated. I've been there. I've been guilty. Been guilty. Um, Lord, then they done let Mama D get in the liquor. Mama D done got in the liquor and she started flirting with Trick, talking about he was sexy and looking good and he was cute and child. Trick was trying to slide off that couch. He couldn't get off that couch fast enough. He said, Mama D, I don't like old ladies. I like them young. Yeah, we know that, Trick. We know. So needless to say, April ended up walking out and she is in the car talking to production and talking about how bad this man done her and how bad he done treated her. And Fizz is actually telling his side of the story to Bambi and Sierra. And they're, I think, hearing that the version of the story that April gave them wasn't necessarily the most accurate depiction of what happened. And so they're listening, but I think they're starting to realize that, okay, Fizz ain't as big of an asshole as we kind of maybe thought he was. And, um, and, um, and that's kind of where the episode ended, with April outside with production mad and them inside, you know, and Fizz talking to them. And basically what Sierra and Bambi decided was, there's a whole lot of passion here. Y'all still got a lot of love and y'all need to work it out. And Fizz was like, listen, I ain't trying to get back in no relationship with her, but we can be friends. And I would definitely, you know, like, we really were friends first, and I'm here for trying to save the friendship, but I'm really not here for no relationship. No, I'm not here for that. So we'll see what happens and how it works out. Y'all let me know what y'all think though. Drop it in them comments. Peace.